Okay, so today is August the 6th, 2015, and it's exactly 70 years ago today that the first atomic bomb was dropped, and it had never been used before. Nuclear weapons, first time a nuclear weapon had been used in warfare, and it was dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. It's still quite controversial now, even what happened. We were taught in schools that they used it to end the Second World War. You know, the Second World War started in 1939 and it dragged on for, sort of 6 years. And we were told that dropping those bombs actually ended the Second World War. Now, I'm not going to get into that. I think it was a crime, but the Japanese also did some very bad things to the Chinese and all sorts of. I mean, war itself is a crime. War, people end up dead. And anyway, August the 6th, 1945, the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, and children, women, men, just living their everyday lives were destroyed by radiation. They were burnt alive. Absolute hell, hell on earth. And then 3 days later, on August the 9th, a nuclear bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, and then there was massive loss of life. So that was 2 nuclear bombs in 3 days. And then shortly afterwards, Japan surrendered, and that brought to the end the Second World War. But what I'd like to talk about is, it is 70 years since the end of World War II, and 70 years since the atomic bomb was dropped. But I don't think, in some ways, we haven't progressed. All we've done is we have the technology to kill people in ever more advanced ways. That's what we've got. We've developed drones which can be operated by remote control, and they can drop bombs on people. We have ever more advanced ways of killing people, really, and we like to think of ourselves as civilized man, but in a lot of ways we're not civilized. We can spend $1 million on one bomb, but yet we can't feed people. We have 1 billion people without clean drinking water in this world, but yet we've got space programs. I'm not against technology, but I can't believe that we can't sort the problems of this world out, of this planet, but yet we're thinking about exploring space, Mars, other planets, and it's cost a fortune. It costs a lot of money to do all this sort of space travel. But anyway, I'm getting off the point about wars. So yeah, we have all this technology now, and it's amazing technology. But like everything, you can do good with it, or you can do bad with it. With technology, you can do good things with it, or you can use that. You can use those scientific discoveries to kill people, really, which is by making some amazing weapon, hideous weapon, but the technology is amazing. There was an American called Howard Zinn, and he actually fought in World War II. He was a pilot, but he later questioned the wars, and he became an anti-war activist, but he was also a historian as well, and he wrote many books, and a brilliant man. He died a few years ago, but what he said was, the problem of wars is, it's not, the problem in this world isn't civil disobedience. He said it's not that human beings are disobedient, that's not the problem. the problem is obedience, and that's why wars happen, because for thousands of years, you know, mankind has been at war. Bow and arrows in the old days, it was very crude. It was, you know, in the caveman days, you know, whatever, and then it developed. But it's always been about obedience, because if you talk to the man in the street or the woman in the street, you know, if you talk to people, nobody actually wants wars. It's only probably the 1% that do want wars, because they're psychopaths or they're power hungry. They you know, so what Howard Zinn was saying is it's mankind's obedience, and that's how wars have been able to happen. The German people were obedient to Hitler, weren't they? And they were, you know, Hail Hitler, and they made him into some sort of saviour. And it's being obedient to government. It's always governments that start wars. It's always governments and leaders. Government, you know, whether that's religious leaders or whether that's just politicians, it's always obedience to a system of doing things, and that's the problem. And that's what Howard Zinn was saying. But I mean, I'm sat on this couch. You know, I've never been in the military, but I listen to people who have been in the military, ex-soldiers, and they will tell you the truth. There are some brilliant ex-soldiers who have fought in the Gulf War. They've fought in World War II or any wars, and they'll tell you the truth. And a lot of people join the military for good reasons, because, you know, you want to defend your country. And I think a lot of impressionable young people grow up exposed to militarism. We're bombarded by Hollywood movies, really, where, you know, it's very heroic. You know, you're fighting some bad person, and it's people join for different reasons. They join for, you know, they want to maybe defend the country, but, you know, some people join for the experience. Some people join because it makes them feel more of a man. No, I'm anti-war, but that doesn't mean I'm a complete pacifist. You know, I wouldn't just roll over and die. If somebody broke into my house and tried to hurt me or my son, I'm not just going to lie down and, you know, I would defend myself. So I think what I'm trying to say is we all have a right to defence. Every country has a right to an army or a navy or an air force as a last resort. But the problem is, soldiers are used as pawns of government. They're used like I think they're used to do the dirty work of government, and it applies anywhere, any country. And sometimes wars are started through religion. It's religious ideology, whether it's extreme Islam, or whether it's, you know, people in Israel believing that that's their holy land, and whatever it is, you know, there's different reasons for wars, but it does come down to obedience. You're following orders. You will, you know, you join the military and your government gives you an order, you know, you're going to follow it.